And Monday, 1-something o'clock p.m. on Monday. A little late because we're working out some internal kinks. I figured everybody Adam would want to hear everybody today, so I figured we'd get that worked out. Adam, good morning. I'm Stephen McCollum, of course. Adam Michaels is sitting across from me in the Big Brother diary room.
Yes, I went into the Big Brother house because I can't handle my sports anymore, so I needed to be quarantined for real from the outside world, and so I decided to enlist in the Big Brother house.
You could say all your bad stuff about people in there, and nobody will hear you.
Yes, exactly. I'll be like, man, last week on the podcast, I couldn't hear anything. It was terrible. It's all Steve's fault. I think we should vote to evict Steve at this point. But check with me in 5 minutes, and I'll have changed my mind.
What was that last thing? Do a big what? A big Steve?
I said I was going to evict Steve at this point. Steve. I think it's best for my game, but I'm not sure, so I'll probably just vote with the House.
With what it took me to get here today and get everything set up, and because I took everything on the trip, as everybody knows that watched Thursday, so then I had to reinstall it all, and then the kid's mom was late. She was supposed to get them at noon and didn't show up till 12:30, and they were all cranky because they're tired and all that good stuff. So I've had quite the adventure here the last hour and a half or so. So, yay, good times. But not as bad as...
How was the beach?
Not as bad as you Chicago sports fans. So beach is always good. You can't go wrong on a San Diego La Jolla beach by any stretch. I mean, I'm not a big beach guy. Those that know me, I don't mind going, but the kids loved it. So I just sat on a beach blanket up in the shade because it was hot. It was hot for them. Yeah. I got at the zoo. I got a picture of the hippo. I have it. I should have put it up. And I was jokingly saying, "Oh, some people took a picture of me on the beach. I'm famous." And it was the hippo underwater. And this lady was like, "That's not you. That's a hippo." And I was like, "Oh, you didn't get the fat joke. Thanks, though, lady. I appreciate it."
Nice.
You missed the fat joke on me. So, yeah. So, other than sports, Adam, you had a baked egg and cheese bagel this weekend because you texted me and said, "You may have the beach, but I have this." And then you sent the glorious picture. How was the steak, egg, cheese bagel from McDonald's?
Let's see. I'm talking to Steve, so I'm going to say it was the most phenomenal thing that I'd ever had in my life.
You're talking to the world, Adam.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was better in the past than it was in the present in my head. Yeah, I think it had been built up to this greatest thing ever.
Yeah, it
wasn't terrible.
Big. Yeah.
It wasn't terrible or anything, but I remember it more fondly than it actually was.
Well,
I think.
I'm
going to have another one just to double check this.
You've hyped it up. Well, I'm sure they've now with the times we're in. I'm sure they've gone cheaper steak now. So it's not the same fillet that it was before. Although for $4.99, it should be like a primo steako at that point, right?
It should be. I don't know. Maybe I waited too long to dive into it. Maybe it lost its heat because I got to work and I had to get the computer up and then I had to do a couple other things. So I mean, it could have just went outside the window. I don't know. We're gonna give it another shot on, let's see, Wednesday morning. We're gonna give it another shot.
So my problem with the picture,
it deserves another play.
Yeah, my problem with the picture was that it looked plasticky.
The bagel kind of did, I guess, in a way. But I mean,
and every time I've had their my thing behind the scenes thing, my thing on McDonald's is I don't eat there too often. I actually don't like most of their food. Go ahead and sponsor us, McDonald's. We'll take your money though, and I'll say great things about you. But if I go there, I'll get either their French fries or I'll get their number one, which is the Egg McMuffin meal. And the reason why I settled on that is because their bagels are gross.
But you will try the steak, egg, and cheese bagel once it's available. Because it's still worth trying, Steve.
Yeah,
you have to experience it in life.
It's not here yet, so maybe it's a Midwest thing. Maybe we're not refined enough out here to have a steak, egg, cheese bagel. You ever think of that?
That is entirely possible. Yeah, that is possible. That is entirely possible. Or it could have just been my one-man revival that caused McDonald's to do it. That's what I'm going to go with.
Here,
the
Main Event Podcast has brought it back.
Yes, it has. But yeah.
So
we'll see. I'll have a better report on it on Thursday because I'm going to eat it right away, or Wednesday. I'm going to eat it right away, so it doesn't have any chance of problems. And
what I'm disappointed in this conversation,
glory,
Adam, is you're the one hyping this for months, and now you've had one, and you're like, I want
a second one. I want a second one just to make sure that maybe it should have been left in 1982. I don't know, but we're gonna try it one more time and see.
Is all I get. All the listeners get is.
I just offered Steve an explanation of the and I'm hoping that I'm able to correct that and correct the course of action on Thursday's podcast. You'll have to tune in on Thursday to find out if the steak, egg, and cheese bagel revival has been officially accepted, or we're going to stay with, I don't know.
The problem is, Adam, is that it always was a crappy sandwich. You just typed it up in your mind that it was good, and now you're like, oh, this is horrible. Because it was always bad.
I didn't say it was horrible. Horrible did not come out. I did not call it Mitch Trubisky. I did not call it Matt Nagy. I did not call it horrible.
As much as you hyped it, I'm going to go back into the archives and find all your hyping of the steak, egg, cheese bagel and how much it was the second coming of Jesus himself. And now you've had one and you're all, You
know what you can do with going back in the archives, Steve? You can file it with my White Sox thoughts. You can file it with my Bulls insider. You can file it with all that crap that didn't happen. All right?
Yeah, so basically what we've learned here today, Adam, is you're full of crap.
I wouldn't go that hurt, Steve. That was
you are
that hurt. Maybe I'm misinformed, Steve. How about that? Misinformed. Why you got to take it personal?
Why?
Jeez.
Misinformed is steak, egg, cheese bagels are coming back, but they don't come back. What misinformed is, I was told Mike D'Antoni was signing with the Bulls from my source. That's misinformed. What isn't misinformed is you saying how freaking great this video was, or this bagel egg check thingy was, and then I can't even realize what it's called, and then you say, because it was never good. You just been filling everybody with crap. Good.
Never said that at all. I said that I just needed a second sandwich just to clarify my opinion and reach for glory that we will find. Everything is going to be fine.
Mikkel says, good, honest review, Adam. Stand your ground. I'm not saying your review is wrong by any stretch. I'm just complaining that you overhyped it, and then right off the bat, you're like, I've had better.
All I said, Steve, was there was extenuating circumstances that may have left me with not as powerful of a movement of the steak, egg, and cheese bagel that I will now make sure for the next time that the conditions are perfect.
It's like
for me to enjoy it.
It's like White Castle. This phenomenon as well. So people that like White Castle are like, it's so good. Oh God, you can't live without it, right? And then the first person like me says, those are the grossest things I've ever eaten. And then the first thing people say is, well, you let it sit too long. You have to eat it right off the grill, like right away. You can't even go 5 minutes. Like there's always an excuse as to why it is garbage trash. And there's just sometimes you have to face the facts that it's just garbage trash. And you just have to embrace the trash that is. No? No?
No, I'm looking at something else and just shaking my head. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, don't let your crappy review of the steak egg cheese bagel get in the way of a good conversation.
No, I'm not at all. I'm amazed by something else right now that we'll get into in a few minutes because now I just saw this and was like, huh? Seriously?
Do you have
I feel.
breaking news or
I
what?
just want to say. I just want to say that I feel bad for the Dodgers and Padres fans right now.
Well, let's touch
You know
on
why?
something that nobody wants to talk about at all, but I feel like we need to, because I went on last Wednesday's radio show and I pronounced how the Heat were going to beat the Lakers, and then half their team got injured. So on Thursday's show, I was commenting about how let's just hope Miami can do something, and how disappointing it is that this series sucks at this point. And the Heat came out last night and won. The Heat came out last night, Adam, without their two star players, Bam and the other guy. I'm forgetting his name right now. And they won the game. How phenomenal is that we didn't see a sweep? Now, it's still... But do you think Miami can come back and win at least another one? Because Dragic and Bam, they're still unsure if they Game 4. What a huge lift that'll be for Game 4 if those two can come back and play and be close to full strength, and LeBron walks off the court with 10 seconds to go and everybody loses their mind about it. Why? I don't know. Are the Heat coming back and winning this series, Adam? Are they doing it?
There's no chance in hell they're coming back and winning the series, Steve. But, I mean, they're making it interesting. 115 to 104 yesterday. Good game by the Heat. And, it wasn't the Lakers' shining glory game for sure. But, this series, I think this goes – I'm going to go 6. I think the Heat get one more.
Nice. Intern on the Facebook page says, "Oh, a cliffhanger." Like 4 minutes ago. What cliffhanger do we leave? We don't leave cliffhangers hanging around, do we?
Well, because I'm coming back with a new review on Thursday.
Oh.
So it is a kind of a cliffhanger.
Oh. People are going to trust your reviews now. Okay.
People should trust my reviews.
People should trust my review of it. I need to go.
You haven't even had one.
I know. I need to take a $300 flight to Chicago, land,
Okay.
go to a McDonald's, get back on a plane and fly home. And on that 3-hour flight home, I can just savor the grossness of the steak egg cheese bagel and come up with a nice, honest review about it.
I feel your biasness coming through the microphone, Steve. So don't feel
if it's good, I'll get it all the time, man. Like I said, I don't eat at McDonald's, but I will go there occasionally and get a egg McMuffin and a hash brown, and those are so good when you get them. Like, they're good. So if it's good, I'll give it props. But ask me about a Big Mac. Ask me.
What about a Big Mac, Steve?
No, they're the grossest things on the face of the planet, and I don't understand why anybody would order one. They're gross. There's the sauce they put on it is now. Granted, I haven't had one in 30 years, so they might have changed it, but it's gross. The ingredients are gross. It just leaves a gross taste in your mouth. I cannot stand it. Honest review. So there you go. Ask me about their hamburgers, Adam.
What about McDonald's? We're going to not get a sponsor out of
absolutely garbage hamburgers, Adam. They put onions on it. You have to remember to order them without onions. And they're not even good onions. They're the chopped onions. So if you forget to order it, then you try to scrape them off. They're like indented into the bun on there and everything. And it's gross. And then you're eating gross onions on top of everything. And they're just flimsy. The meat doesn't even taste like meat on their hamburgers. It's just gross. And McDonald's, business opportunities, go ahead and contact info@gestaltproduction.com.
Don't check the email, Steve. It's not coming.
Oh,
okay?
I'm refreshing right now. Right now.
Now, see, I personally, since I only order with ketchup, I don't have those problems. I never forget to order only ketchup, so it works out good for me.
You did. Oh yeah, so you get specific, man. No, I just go. I want a hamburger because I expect, like, I go to Burger King. I go, I'll just have a hamburger because I also don't like the Whoppers and stuff. I think they're gross too. But I'll be like, just give me a 79-cent hamburger, right? And you know what comes on it, Adam? Do you know what comes on a hamburger when you order a hamburger?
Cheese or hamburger would be
What?
ketchup.
Cheese? I didn't order a cheese. I don't want no 89-cent piece of American bullcrap cheese put on my gross tasting hamburger, please. You can save your 80 cents for that slice of cheese. Then you can buy a whole box of it for 50 cents. And you're charging me 75 cents for one piece of cheese? No, Adam, cheese does not come on a hamburger. You can keep your 80-cent piece of cheese over there, Burger King.
No, I don't want the burger without the cheese, so stick your whole burger. I'll just save my money altogether.
So order a cheeseburger then. But what do you comes on a hamburger? Ketchup comes on a hamburger, Adam. Mustard comes on a hamburger, Adam. Pickles comes on a hamburger, Adam. You know what doesn't come on a hamburger unless you order it? Onions. Thank you. So, you think the Heat are going to win at 6, huh?
Yeah, I got the Heat in 6.
Nice. Yeah, I would agree, especially if.
Oh wait, no. I mean, the Heat take it 6. The Lakers win. I was like, whoa. You're walking me down a road.
I had already written that down. I was like, I already got this written down. Right. We're good to go. Heck yeah. So it would be nice if it goes 6, at least if it's competitive, because those first 2 games are totally uncompetitive. And the ratings are in the tank. Now, of course, all the right-wing sites like Outkick, the coverage, and all those guys are like, ratings are down because they're woke. Nah, I'm not watching because it's just a garbage series and they're blowouts. So last night was pretty impressive. And I actually had it on last night, so there's that too. But then again, the Sunday night game was, I had that on too. I had them both going there. Kind of, last night was a rough night for sporting events, right?
Yeah, I was watching NXT last night, so that.
Like I said, life was a rough. It was a rough night for sports last night. So yeah. Like I said. Yeah. So Adam, let's get into it. Wild card round of Major League Baseball wraps up. Of course, we tweet out and posted on Facebook the results that you guys all saw. I did the bracket yesterday at the Main Event Pod. Follow that for updates and everything. So starting
still playing
today,
baseball?
What?
Still playing baseball? I thought it was over.
No, they're playing it right now. Oakland and Houston are in the middle of Game 1, actually, end of the second inning, and we made our picks yesterday via text and everything, and I'm going to post those out, but I wanted to also do it on the podcast here. So in the Houston-Oakland series, they're today, of course, Yankees. Tampa Bay are later on today, I believe at 5 p.m. Phoenix time, 7 your time, Adam, in Chicago, 8 Eastern. Yep. Tomorrow.
5:07 first.
Whatever. Yeah. So right now you picked Houston in this series, Adam, which shocked me because you're on that. Oh, the Astros are cheaters, sons of guns. I hate them. I hate them to death.
I was not that. I know. I didn't have the hatred for them. I didn't care. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. I just don't think the A's have the pitching, the starting pitching, to get this done. And I'm just not a believer in that ball club. I mean, it was. I'm not even gonna get upset about it. I'm just thinking that Houston wins this series.
So, I think you said in five, right?
Yeah, I did go 5. Yep.
So, yeah, that's the problem I have with this is I hate how it's a 5-game series because you're right. The A's are, they have 2 good pitchers. They have a solid bullpen. So is the bullpen did the White Sox run down the bullpen in the A's enough? But they did have, 2 days off after that? And then on top of it, Houston's bats have woken up with experience. I think Houston's going to win this series also. But I think it's going to be even sooner. It's going to be a sweep, or it's going to be 3 or 4, I think. I said that yesterday, Adam. And right now, Oakland's up 2-0 in the top of the third. So there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I have it on one of the screens here watching the TBS feed.
Right. So then tonight we have Tampa Bay and the Yankees, a best-of-5 series in the ALDS. Adam, you're like all in this Tampa bandwagon this year. and you obviously have gone with the Bolts to win the NHL hockey tournament. They did, of course. And now, who did you pick in this series?
I went with the Tampa Bay Rays. You know,
Woo!
I like them. The Yankees. They're playing some great baseball, but I like the story of the Tampa Bay Rays, and things. I like it. I like this. I'm happy about my
So I went back and
Rays.
forth on this one beyond belief because I think this. I hate how we're seeing this series. I wish we would seen this series, in the in the ALCS instead. But since we have to deal with it now, it's phenomenal that we're seeing it. First of all, because I wanted to see a 7-game series, not a 5-game series. And my issue that I have is that the Yankees bats are so hot and they can go so crazy, right? But Tampa Bay has beaten them all year, even with those hot bats. So I think the Rays are going to win this series also. But I think this one will go at least 5. This one will go 4 or 5 easy. So I see this just being a total, whatever, shootout fest and all that good stuff. But, whatever.
Did you read they're staying at the same hotel?
Yeah, I did. Isn't that hilarious?
That is great.
I didn't read the article. Go ahead.
If things get heated up and they're in the same hotel, I'll meet you in the dining area.
Right? It's like, what floor are you guys on? Where is the AL series at? I forget. Are they in LA, right?
They're in LA. Yep.
Okay, yep. So Dodger Stadium?
I'm not 100% sure on that one.
I think it's San Diego, and I get confused too. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I used to have.
Well, because if they were in Anaheim, they'd be saying they were in Anaheim. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers.
No,
Stadium.
it was Dodger. I thought it was Dodger Stadium, and I thought Padres Stadium was going to be involved in it too. But I don't know if that's next series or I've gotten confused on it, to be honest with you. So, and being over there last week, you'd think I would know, but nobody said anything about it. All the Padres fans acted like they had just won the World Series, though, when they beat the Cardinals. They came back and beat the Cardinals, so it was interesting. So tomorrow, Adam, the National League gets underway, I do believe. And,
yes,
of course, you have the upstart, surprise to anybody that, didn't watch baseball this year, Miami Marlins against the Atlanta Braves, both teams super young. Miami's never lost in the playoffs. Both times they've made it, they've won the World Series. Does that trend continue against Oakland?
It's a tough one for me. I like the Braves in this series. The Marlins, again, I'm just looking for a reason to pick them. Don Mattingly has them playing good. And they shut down that mighty Cub offense.
Did you say that with a straight face?
Nah, I tried to, but it didn't work out very well. So I don't know. It's going to be a good series, I think. But I think the Braves get this one. I think the Braves get it done here.
I don't think this is going to be a good series at all. This is going to just be a blowout the whole way. Atlanta bats are super hot. Miami is, quite frankly, lucky to be in this spot. They just matched up against the Cubs, who were just, bad pitching, bad hitting at times. And it was just a good matchup for them. This is where it ends, though. Atlanta is hot right now. They're Acuna. They're taking selfies when they're hitting home runs. They are that phenomenal out there right now, and their starting pitching is good, and their bullpen a little shakier, but Miami, isn't going to be a threat to that. Yeah, I think Atlanta's winning this series. I think if it's not a sweep, it'll only go 4. That's because Miami will win 1. I don't care how hot you are or how great you're doing. I'm going to anger some people with this statement. The Cubs' talent isn't that good, so that's why I figured Miami would beat the Cubs when I picked them. And they're taking a big step up in opponent talent when they get to Atlanta over the Cubs. So there's my Cub bashing for the day, Adam.
We appreciate you, Cubs bashing. Brought to you by your friendly neighborhood McDonald's. Stop in and try a steak, egg, and cheese bagel on your way in the morning.
Right? It's like, oops. Well, the other thing is, so the Marlins set their rotation in this series. Alcantara in the first game. I have it right here. We'll start game 1 on Tuesday. Pablo Lopez in game 2. Sixto Sanchez in game 3. If there's a game that the Marlins are going to win, it's going to be game 3 because I really like Sixto. Not just his name, but he's really good out there. I really like what he does on the mound.
Yeah, the way I've seen baseball this year, anyone that's going to win, it's going to be game 3. Doesn't it sound like that? It's like the pitching has just not been very deep in these playoffs as far as everyone when they were getting to game 3. If it was necessary, a lot of teams had problems. Luckily, a lot of teams didn't have to play game 3, though.
I was going to say, that was the disappointing thing about the wild card round, wasn't it? Was that you didn't have to play a lot of games. So,
right, but there was a lot of question marks on just if it happened, who are going to be the starters for a lot of teams.
A lot of TBDs on this schedule for people. So now the final series that I'm most looking forward to, the Dodgers and the Padres. You said you had some news on this. Give us that first.
Well, I want to say that I feel sorry for all the Padres and Dodgers fans as Angel Hernandez sued Major League Baseball to be able to umpire and was placed in this game, the National League Division Series. He sued Major League Baseball because he hasn't had any post.
I thought it was World Series only.
World Series since 2005, but and hadn't been promoted because you suck as an umpire. That's why you haven't been promoted. And I'm so sorry for these teams on Wednesday when Angel Hernandez will be behind the plate with his 15,000-foot strike zone, except if it's your team, and then he's got a 12-inch strike zone. So.
Well, that's the thing. That might allow the Padres to sneak out a victory in this series because he's gonna play. He's gonna be bad against. He's usually bad against the better team.
He's just terrible.
I'm making that up. I don't know. He's bad all around, but I was just making that up.
He's just terrible. Terrible.
Who do you have, Adam, in this series?
I went with the Dodgers, of course.
This is where we differ. I am not a homer. I'm not a bandwagon guy. Now the Dodgers always wait till the Super Bowl, to the World Series before they choke. However, Adam, in this series, Dodgers have been coasting for so long. Padres have been in playoff mode for so long. Padres are going to get underneath their skin. Padres are going to jack a home run and do something to get the Dodgers all fired up. And then they're going to do something stupid, like throw at them like Joe Kelly did against the Padres. And it's not going to mean anything other than suspensions and getting the Padres riled up. And now my only caveat on this is I'm not a fan. Tingler, the Padres manager, actually managed really well in game 2 and 3 against the Cardinals where they came back and beat them. And he's going to need to do that all series long and not just in a couple games late in the series. So I'm taking a flyer. I think this is the chance to upset the Dodgers is this weekend. If they get through this series, they're going to go all the way to the World Series. But I think this is a chance. Division rivals. There's been some heat and some blood between these guys. Watch out for the Padres, baby.
Is this an official prediction?
Yeah, that was my prediction.
All right.
What,
Upset special.
Do you think I'm making it up here? You think I went through all that just to be like, and I'm taking the Dodgers?
You've done it before, Steve. So I mean, let's not. It's not that far of a walk to get there.
Yeah, I mean it's like my Miami Heat one. It's like I hope it happens. I've studied all the ways it can happen. And it could totally go south on me. And it wouldn't shock me if the Dodgers win this thing pretty quickly. But at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if the Padres do it. And I'm picking the Padres. Since nothing's on the line except for my intelligence and my grace and everything, I think the Padres are going to do it. So in this round, Adam, the interesting thing. So definitely on Facebook, Twitter, or respond when we get these posts up on who you guys pick for your deals there. The All Access crew out there, get on there and go. So of course, like I said, NLDS starts tomorrow. Atlanta Marlins are the first game, then Dodgers San Diego are the second game. It might be good just to watch this series just to see Angel Hernandez trend on Twitter also. But there's no love in this round, Adam, with these matchups, right? Obviously, Yankees Rays, because they're division rivals, right? CC Sabathia yelled a few colorful words at the Tampa Bay dugout a couple years ago. This season, there's that Chapman fastball that ended up going up towards the Rays guy's head, and it prompted Kevin Cash, the Rays manager, to issue the threat of, quote, "I've got a whole damn stable of guys who throw 98 miles per hour, period," unquote. And obviously, the Rays have thrown at Yankees' heads a couple times over the years, and now they're sharing the same hotel, like you said, Adam. Game 1, fireworks could happen, and it's just going to carry on the rest of the series. Can go to the hotel room. We're going to need security there. And by the way, they are sharing one common floor also, so they will be going by each other. So Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner came out and said, quote, "Nobody that I'll try to avoid on purpose," unquote. And then he says, quote, "Nobody that I'm scared of," unquote. Garrett Cole says, there's already a kind of baseline of tension there as we approach any game at this time of year. There will be some people playing on edge," unquote. This series is going to be crazy talk. Let's watch this bad boy. Get in line if you want to watch this tonight. This might be better than both Monday Night Football games.
No, it very well could be better than both Monday night games. I'm not that excited on the Monday Night Football, but I'm definitely excited about checking out this game tonight for sure.
So then, Astros and A's, this series. The Astros, of course, hit A's center fielder Laureano in the back in several at-bats in August, but I think it was back-to-back, right? And then after the second one, he went to first. He charged Alex Cintron, the Astros, hitting coach or something, in the bench. Cintron was suspended for 20 games. Laureano was only got down to 4 games instead of 6 there. Of course, the Astros said that their pitcher was young, which he was. He had control issues. His number was like 72, and his name went from one sleeve to the other. It was ridiculous. Obviously, the guy didn't know what he was doing. But they attacked each other. There was a tackle outside the Astros bullpen there. And these guys aren't afraid to hit each other. The A's believe the Astros were stealing signs for a few years before they got caught. Virtually every single thing that came out last offseason about the Astros, quote-unquote, cheating has been whispered by the A's. They've been out there. Obviously, Mike Friars is the coach, is a pitcher on the A's who kind of outed the Astros cheating scandal. The A's believe the Astros might not have won the 3 consecutive AL West championships without cheating. They're division rivals again. The Astros believe that cheating isn't why they won. They just think they were better than everybody regardless. And then we're in the playoffs, baby. What fireworks are going to happen in this one right now, Adam? So far, nothing. 3 in the third inning. So far, nothing.
Yeah, you know what? I don't necessarily know that you're going to get the fireworks that you're thinking you're going to get because
you're not going to.
Because you're in the playoffs.
I'm selling it, Adam. I'm selling it.
Well, I didn't get the memo. I'm just correcting you.
I know,
Mr. Course of action.
Sandwich is all right.
Oh my God, you're right there again. Jesus, just shoot me now. I liked it better when I couldn't hear you.
It's 3-0 Athletics now in the third inning now. By the way, so you know.
Yes, it is.
So that was a home run that did it, right? To center field, right? To make it 3.
I had it minimized. I just saw that.
Oh yeah, yep. 3. Sean Murphy homered on a fly ball to center field. I would be shocked if Sean Murphy homered on a ground ball to center field. That would be amazing.
I was wondering. I was gonna go. Can you get a home run on a ground ball? I guess you could.
That's what MLB.com's stat tracker here says. Sean Murphy homers on a fly ball to center field. Really? It's great. If you can't watch the game, going to MLB.com stat tracker, it's really good. I mean, they break it down. They tell you if it's a slider that he's throwing and all of that stuff. So it's pretty great to see. So on there. So that's those two. That's the AL series, right? Then you got the National League series, Adam. Dodgers Padres. So mid-September, Padres center fielder Trent Grisham homered off Clayton Kershaw, and then he admired the homer. He flipped his bat. He screamed, "Let's go," to the Padres dugout. He turned and smirked at Kershaw, which led to crybaby Dave Roberts to say that you need to treat World Series winning pitchers better than this. This is a joke. Kershaw needs to be treated like the Hall of Fame pitcher he is. In that garbage stuff. Manny Machado says, quote, "It's their division, honestly." Of course, Padres guy. But we're coming. We're definitely coming, unquote. Then the Dodgers went on and won the next 2 games against the Padres and are 12-2 since, including the playoffs. But Padres are going to do something to get under the Dodgers' skin, and it's going to be fantastic to watch Dave Roberts and them cry. And let's see how they handle it.
Yeah, I mean, you may get your backstory during this series. Seems to be a little bit more tensions are a little bit higher in this one, and I don't want to see Manny Machado succeed, so I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
But you want to see any of the Dodgers succeed? Ugh, trash.
Yeah.
So Marlins and Braves. This one kind of is a slow simmer, right? You don't think anything's going on between these teams. It's like, interesting. But you can go all the way back to 2018, where Jose Urena and Ronald Acuna Jr. Urena hit Acuna Jr. with a 98-mile-per-hour fastball in the first inning. When Acuna, I'm just going to read this here now. When Acuna recovered enough to walk to first base, he threw his shin guard toward the mound. So that plunking seemed to be in retaliation for Acuna's homer and bat flip several weeks prior. So this was 2018, right? Then on May 3rd, 2019, Braves right-hander threw behind Urena and was ejected. This week, Braves manager Brian Schnitker praised the Marlins for all they have overcome to get to the postseason and said they played the game with an energy and enthusiasm he appreciated. To which, told of those comments, Marlins manager Don Mattingly said, quote, "You fight for respect in this game, especially from within. We've been trying to grow. They've been beating up on us for a couple years. Not quite as badly this year. We're starting to get a little closer," unquote. There's some hidden messages being sent here. One, Atlanta's manager is totally kissing up to he's like digging him, but kissing up to him at the same time. And then Marlins manager Dan Mattingly's like, "Yeah, we're definitely coming." Fantastic.
We might not get you this time, but we're coming.
We're coming. You might beat us this round, but we're coming. You guys have to worry about us for a while.
But don't be here.
So that's fascinating. I mean, as much as I don't like all these division rivals playing each other in this round, I wish it would have been spread around more. But it also leads to a lot of stuff that, to watch and intrigue in this series and love lost between these guys and everything. So it's, I don't know, pretty exciting for a baseball time of year, in my opinion. It could be worse. It could be the NBA Finals.
Yeah, let's stick with baseball.
So we got that going on now. Anything else on baseball? Any parting White Sox thoughts, Adam, on the season? You've had a few days to just rage inside still and not get it out. What's on your mind there, buddy?
You know what, Steve? I'm fine. I'm looking forward to next year. My emotions will go up when my playoff shirt finally arrives. That'll upset me and set me off again. But, yeah. I'm part of the hashtag Fire Ricky. And that's about it.
You make fun of me for talking about NFL coaches needing to be fired. Ricky Renteria does not deserve to be fired after his outing this year in these unprecedented times. It is ridiculous that is even a conversation from anybody in Chicago and White Sox fans anywhere.
Oh, he should be totally fired. You're not going to win a World Series with Ricky Renteria as your freaking manager. He doesn't know how to handle a bullpen.
You haven't won a World Series with any manager except for one, and you guys ran him out of town. And when he said he wants to come back, y'all laughed at him.
Oh, he wants to come back still. He every night on the post-game show, he wants to come back. It's great.
It's like, be careful what you wish for. We want a new manager in here. What, so you can continue to not win with other guys too? Like, what's the deal here? So,
Anyway, I'm just I'm ready to move on and think about next year and happier times. Going out to Guaranteed Rate Field for opening day in sometime in February, probably. No, March, whatever they decide to open again.
March, beginning of April. So in NASCAR, Adam, let's move on before you start crying.
I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm over it. I'm properly medicated today.
Dega happened this weekend. Did you see any of this?
No, I did not see any of
Triple
this.
overtime. Denny Hamlin wins it. Lots of controversy because of the out of bounds calls that NASCAR did, meaning you go down below the yellow line. You're not allowed to go down there unless you're forced down there. And a lot of guys went down there on their own and got penalized for it on there. Triple overtime finish, which can be exciting, I guess, right? Your boy Kurt Busch went for a wild ride, and you know this is the track with all the fantastic wrecks and everything. He's going to move on to the next round because he won in Vegas. But the fascinating thing about this is he would normally be outside of the playoff line looking in. Like he would get eliminated this round. But because he won, he gets to move in, which means that a driver that qualified with enough points to move on to the next round will get eliminated because of that Vegas win. Isn't that exciting, Adam?
Yeah, I'm always excited with the NASCAR playoffs. How it works out with the points, and I like the win and you're in thing. Yeah, I mean it's exciting. NASCAR is definitely exciting when it is playoff time.
So it cracks me up too because like Kurt Busch is in position 10 in the points, and he's moving on. Like he's not even like on the border. He is 2 spots out of moving on to the next round. He's not even close to being in it, you know. And he gets to move on. Which, well, the ironic thing also, Adam, is he could push his brother out with that win too, because Kyle Busch is in the 8th spot right now with tied with Austin Dillon, and you know he might push his brother out with that victory. Now they have the Roval this weekend in Charlotte, so a lot will change obviously in that deal. As we go forward. But Kyle Busch is outside looking in. I'm sorry, he's in the 9th spot, along with tied with Austin Dillon in the points. So wouldn't that be ironic if Kurt Busch's Vegas win knocks his brother out of the playoffs?
You know, anytime that Kyle Busch can get knocked out of anything, I'm all for it. So.
I knew you'd say that. Denny Hamlin is in first place in the playoff standings. Kurt Busch is there. Kevin Harvick. Because they both won the first 2 races, so they're ranked 1 and 2. Kevin Harvick is 3, Chase Elliott 4, Brad Keselowski 5, Truex Jr. 6, Alex Bowman 7, Joey Logano in the last spot right now with a 21 point lead over Kyle Busch, who's in the 9th spot, and Austin Dillon, who's also in that 9th spot, tied they're tied in that spot. So. I don't have that. I should have looked it up, but we'll talk about it obviously next week after this weekend's game and they do the elimination. But Eric Amarola is going to get eliminated. I think we both had him going out, I think we had him out probably in the first round. Clint Boyer was out already. Austin Dillon. So let's see if we get any picks right in this round at all after this weekend and what happens. So I mean, something could happen where Joey Logano gets wrecked in the first, or has car problems in the first 4 or 5 laps, and then allows Kyle Busch to sneak in afterwards. But so NASCAR's getting buckled down there, and I'm just fascinated that Kurt Busch won that race, and now he's guaranteed to go on and can knock somebody that easily qualifies for the points, to get in there. So fascinating.
That's why you got to win the races.
You got to win the game. But it's funny how all this controversy with the Talladega's yellow line rule going below it and everything. I mean, it is a clear-cut rule where you don't cut the track short. You stay on the track. You don't go below the yellow line. It's set all the time. That's the number 1 rule there. People complain about it before the race even starts, and then people always go below it, and then they always freak out afterwards, and all the NASCAR fans flip out about how that's a stupid thing to do or whatever, and NASCAR has to defend this yellow line rule thing, and it's just kind of annoying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I never really understood it with, because I'm not the NASCAR proficiento, but, some places you can go down, some places you can't. It's kind of confusing sometimes to the novice fan on what way it goes.
Well, I mean, so what happened was Hamlin drove low in turn 4 to avoid a final lap accident. When he was trying to win the race, right? They did not dock him points because he went below the yellow line because it was an evasive maneuver. And he held on for his 7th victory of the season, advancing him to round 8 of the NASCAR playoffs, right? Matt DiBenedetto, however, was penalized for chopping down or for going down there to push William Byron below the double yellow line as he tried to hold the top spot. So I think the thing that fans are saying is that the rule is done unfairly, I guess you could say. You know what I mean?
I think it leaves too much gray area, too much to interpretation, and that's where you get in trouble with these rules, where you're leaving it up to other people to, it's good one way but not the other way, and it's got to be a hard rule, I guess, is what they have to go to.
Yeah, but if you're avoiding something, I get it. Whatever, I know. We're just whiny babies. So, basically, on it just, I guess it's a way to just have controversy happen. NASCAR fans are never happy anyway, right? Like they complain, they complain about everything that happens in NASCAR. And my favorite is they're like, I haven't watched NASCAR in 15 years. And then you look at their timeline on Twitter, and like every week they're commenting about a race, And it's like, well, okay, you may not be watching the race, but you're paying attention to it. So, it's like whatever. On that fun stuff, but so we got asked by intern what overtime means in NASCAR. So basically, NASCAR does not win a race under yellow. They continue the race. So they do the extra laps in order to declare a winner. So they don't just say, all right, you're finishing under yellow, the way you line up, you go. So, and the rules have changed a lot over the years, but basically it's 2 laps. So if there's a wreck in the final lap and they don't determine a winner and it goes yellow, they go to overtime rules. So on the first lap, after they goes green again after that wreck, if a wreck occurs on the first lap of the green flag, then they'll actually restart the overtime. So basically, after the wreck happens and they all lined up, they have 2 laps to go. Once the green flag is thrown, if a wreck happens in that lap, they do the overtime again. So that's what's happened. So that's why there was 3 overtimes on this deal. If they make it to the second lap with no caution, the lead car passes the overtime line, which is a made up line on the track. Then anything that happens after that finishes the race. And then they finish the finishing order. So basically, the short answer is, if you don't understand that, is it allows NASCAR to extend the race extra laps to get a clear-cut winner, as opposed to like the Indianapolis 500 that happened in September, where a wreck happened and then they called the race at yellow, and that was just a garbage way to win the race. So that's basically what overtime rules are. And it probably didn't make any sense to anybody, but because nobody understands it, and I get it.
I followed along completely, and now I have it. I got it figured out.
Do I need a whiteboard behind me? And
no, I took notes, carefully dictated notes, and I feel better about my NASCAR overtime knowledge at this point.
So, Adam, let's get into the favorite subject of the week. I tweeted at you yesterday, so I'm going to have a very important question for you when we get to the Bears game here. But tonight we have 2 Monday Night Football games. They determined that only Cam Newton is disease carrying, nobody else is for the COVID-19. So they moved that game to tonight. Patriots had to fly into Kansas City this morning. 2 separate planes to keep social distancing rules, all that stuff. Cam Newton is on the COVID-19 exempt list, so he is out for this week. No doubt about that. So the 2-1 Patriots take on the 3-0 Chiefs. Last week, if you remember, I picked the Patriots on Wednesday night show. I picked the Patriots to beat the Chiefs. Although Adam said no on Twitter, I am allowed to change that pick because I let you change a pick a couple weeks ago, buddy. So don't even start.
Like days before the game, Steve. Days.
So was this, Adam? The game's tonight. I changed it. I asked if I could change it Saturday, didn't I?
I don't know. I just was gonna say no, just because I
I
needed the
know.
help.
Oh, I'm fully aware of what you were doing there, Tiger. Fully aware. So they're playing tonight. Patriots. Not only are they without Cam Newton, so Brian Hoyer gets the start. But not only that, but they flew out today. That's going to be a drag on them. They're flying out right after the game back home. On top of it, imagine the distraction of not knowing if you're going to play or not. Right? You're like ready to go. You're supposed to play tomorrow. Then you get that news on Saturday. You get the news that he has COVID. Or Friday, so they have to move the game. They have to do all this testing. They have to do all this contact tracing. Like what a distraction! How many points is the Chiefs going to win by tonight?
Uh, Chiefs by 24.
Wow, going 24 tonight, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
Impressive.
It's a good enough. Brian Hoyer is a terrible quarterback, so
Uh, yeah, man, but he's been in that offense forever, dude. So,
I don't care. He's been holding the clipboard forever.
can you blame Brian Hoyer for being a bad quarterback when he was in Houston with that god awful offense?
No, probably not.
So, the second game tonight, of course, is still the Packers and the Falcons. As I said on Thursday's show, I said, well, at least the Falcons don't have to worry about losing a fourth quarter lead in this one. And then, Adam, it turns out that some star players aren't playing tonight for the Green Bay Packers. And, of course, I just lost all the injury people for tonight, so that's awesome. But his star receiver, that I'm forgetting his name right now, is out for tonight for Green Bay.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is out for Green Bay.
Adams. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe I forgot his name. Yeah, so their best receiver by a long shot is out tonight. And among other people. But Packers' Kenny Clark and Darnell Savage are unlikely to play tonight also. Packers plays linebacker Christian Kursky and wide receiver Alan Lazard on injured reserve. So he's actually down to two receivers tonight, his two best receivers. Yeah, this isn't. Are the Packers still winning this game, or is Dan Quinn going to learn how to coach properly and win a game in the fourth quarter?
There's no way in hell Atlanta wins this game. The Packers with 11 players can win this game.
Well, that's how much play on a field, Adam.
Well, I mean, just a total of 11 players, Steve, on each side. That's all they need.
My favorite part is Devontae Adams went out today and put on Twitter that he's out tonight. So not only did he announce he's out, which obviously you want to keep that secret, right? Because you want the other team to plan for it. Not only that, but he tweeted it at an Atlanta Falcons player that he's out tonight on top of it. Of course, the tweet was quickly deleted once people saw it. But what are you doing? What are you doing there? It just cracks me up a little bit. But I mean, they've lost their Darnell Savage is their safety, I believe. He's a cornerback or safety. Their defensive tackle as Kenny Clark, he's on that line. They're unlikely to play tonight. And I mean, Green Bay's banged up. Is Green Bay going to come out of this game still as the highest scoring team in the league?
Yeah, I still think they will, Steve. Aaron Rodgers is on a mission from God this year, and I don't see, from what I can tell from Atlanta, they are definitely not up to the challenge.
Well, Atlanta's been scoring a lot of points. They just can't. Hey, I got breaking news.
What's that?
Houston Texans fired Bill O'Brien.
No way. Wow.
Houston has fired head coach and general manager Bill O'Brien 4 games into his 7th season with the organization. Romeo Crennel will take over as interim coach.
Is the happy dance coming? I'm waiting.
I'm trying to hold. I literally refreshed the screen 3 times, thinking that maybe I loaded up the wrong website. Because I told you guys he was going to get fired this year. I just didn't know it'd be in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
0-4 start, obviously. But it's not going to get any better with Romeo Crennel as the deal. But what were we talking about before this now?
We were on the Green Bay
Oh yeah, yeah,
bandwagon
yeah.
of
But I mean,
being the
Atlanta's
highest
put up a
scoring
lot of
team.
Atlanta's put up a lot of points this year. So is this gonna be a shootout tonight, or is Green Bay going to you know?
Yeah, I think Green Bay just takes care of business here. I don't expect much out of Atlanta.
All right. A lot of talk going on. Intern says, "Good explanation of NASCAR OT. Thanks." Um, Intern also liked your comment. Quote: "I liked it better when I couldn't hear you when you said that to me." Adam, she enjoyed that. Um, and Mikkel enjoyed the dig as well on there. So yeah, so you got a good point on there, Adam. Good point.
All right.
You're gonna like
Anytime
it
I can
even more
help.
when we start talking about the Bears here. So
I can't hear.
I'm reading this. I'm reading this story right now because this literally just hit at 5:02 p.m. Eastern, so 2:02 p.m. NFL.com puts it out. Um, well, here I tell you what. Let's not just have my words do this. Let me just play Ian Rappaport says here. So give me one moment here for this ad to go through, and let's see what is happening. Why all of a sudden Houston got a brain? So 1 second here.
Came in to help Bill O'Brien first to evaluate the Texans. He ended up firing Brian Gaine and then came in to help Bill O'Brien run it. He was on board with really all of those decisions. So if Bill O'Brien gets fired for the general manager decisions he made, I'd be curious to see where Jack Easterby stands on all of that. Obviously, there's a lot of questions going forward about the Texans, his role, and all of that. But as far as Bill O'Brien, he assumed duties as general manager, and he made a lot of big moves, trading for Laramie Tunsil, paying Deshaun Watson, of course, trading DeAndre Hopkins, probably the most disputed move, one of the NFL's leading receivers, did all of that, and then jumps out to an 0-4 start. And then after the 0-3 is something I reported on Sunday morning, took play calling, basically giving himself more responsibility. As the team considered to sputter, it just became clear of two things. One, that O'Brien and Jack Easterby were simply not seeing eye to eye anymore. That turned extremely quickly. And then the other thing was the team just wasn't listening to him. And considering that he paid a quarterback $40 million a year, does not come out and play like they wanted, this was the decision that owner Cal McNair made his first big move, stepping in for his father.
Was there any indication that the increased responsibility that Bill O'Brien has shouldered?
We're not going to listen to all 2 minutes of it, so it just sounds like it's a personality deal on there. And I'm not shocked at all about it, since I said he was going to get fired at the end of the year. Absolutely. But I got to refresh my live Facebook feed here. So give me a second, enjoyed everybody. The dig as well on there. Because Mikkel, 26 minutes ago, I didn't see this pop up, so my feed was all messed up. I got everything else, but 26 minutes ago, Mikkel does say Texans fire Bill O'Brien, finally. So good scoop on that, Mikkel. Apologize I didn't give you credit for that. So, but I had to refresh my Facebook to see it on there. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty excited about, I'm not excited, but I mean, I'm shocked they did it when they did it, especially since yesterday he took over the play calling duties because he said it wasn't working right before. And, obviously that's a game saving move there. So, but he's gone finally. And that's O'Brien and Jack Easterby, Houston's executive vice president of football operations. So obviously Cal McNair, the owner, who was very hands off compared to his dad, gave, when Bill O'Brien should have been fired before, gave him the role of general manager and head coach. Then brought in Jack Easterby, and apparently the executive vice president of football operations has basically said, you're dumb, get out of here. So this isn't going to save the Texans season by any stretch, but, with Romeo Crennel, a defensive guy, as their head coach. But good. I'm excited, Adam. Finally My boy,
Yeah,
my boy's
what-
gone.
what-
You tell me constantly, Adam. Constantly. Coaches don't get fired in the middle of the season, Steven.
I do say that constantly, and the Houston organization has just went against the trend and fired him, and they'll still end up with the same record they would have before.
No, they got to look better. The problem is they looked really bad yesterday on there. So, by the way, I missed it on my Facebook thing. Didn't refresh properly, so it didn't pop on my thing. But I was saying Mikel did have that on the Facebook page 26 minutes before I announced it. So he's
Wow.
on top of it. I know. So I hate it when it doesn't update automatically like that. It's annoying. But I
Send
have
your complaints.
I have so much stuff going on my deal here that it probably it's slow to update on my end here, But Adam, it's your time to shine. Are you ready?
Do we have to?
Yes.
It's very sad. All right.
So
What do you want to talk about? Steak,
for a
egg, and
year
cheese
and a
bagels?
half, Adam, I'll set it up for you. For a year and a half, Adam, I have been saying that this gentleman we're going to talk about next has been throwing his players under the bus. That this guy is not a good head coach. He puts his players in bad situations. The play calling is atrocious. He does not put his players in a position to succeed. He puts them in places to fail. He gives them the wrong play calls. He doesn't accurately play call it. And everybody kept telling me that the problem was the quarterback. We would be so much better if we had Mahomes. We would be so much better if we had Mahomes. And I say you'd be the exact same because the head coach is the problem. The head coach isn't coaching this team properly. This head coach is putting guys in finalized deals. And finally, he makes the horrible decision to bench Mitch Trubisky when he did. And we all had to sit here last week and listen to a certain person tell us how great the Chicago Bears looked with Nick Foles. The Savior is here. We're going to the Super Bowl. We are the Bears. Woo! So, Adam, I didn't see the game yesterday. How'd that work out for you? Did the Bears pull out a victory yesterday?
No, they did not pull out a victory yesterday. It wasn't a good day for Coach Nagy and company. Some questionable play calling. I mean, they did not run the ball, was not committed to running the ball, gave up on it, 16 carries, 28 yards on the ground. That is not going to get it done in the National Football League when you're the Chicago Bears. Defense played pretty good. They only gave up the one touchdown in the first quarter there. But besides that, there was not much bright side there at all. They, I don't know why Nagy chose this game to abandon the run. I don't know if he got big eyes because Nick was back there as quarterback. He wasn't able to do much until the Colts went into that prevent defense at the end of the game. So it's pretty much a garbage touchdown. Third down continues to be a problem for the Bears as well as red zone efficiency. So this game, I'm leaning more towards Nagy's fault. We'll see what happens next week against Tampa. Defense played well, but you got to run. You got to be more committed to running the ball. I don't care who your quarterback is.
You just cannot say it, can you?
It's a small sample size today, Steve. Only one game with Nick Foles. We're going to see
It's
what
not a
happens.
small sample size, Adam. It's
With
been
Nick
3
Foles,
years
it's a
of
small
sample size, Adam. 3
With a
years
quarterback
of bad
that can do
play
the job.
calling.
With
3
the quarterback that can do his job.
years.
I'm going to see what happens next week against Tampa before I start looking for nails to hammer into Nagy's grave. Not even going to the nail store yet. I'm looking online to see where I can get a deal in case next week doesn't turn out very well.
3 years, Adam, isn't a small sample size.
Steve, playoffs the first year. Last year.
By the way, with Trubisky, no less.
Last year, back to reality. This year, still 3-1, Steve. Still 3-1. coaches 3-1 don't really need to take all the blame. It was a rough day for him. Let's see what he does. They go back, they look at the film, and we'll see what happens.
Man, I got to get a pair of those Bears blinders on right there. I need a pair of those because I need to see Nick Foles. Let me just put it this way. Different quarterback, exact same result, Adam. You can't say that you're not going to put the blame on the head coach when it's the same result with a different quarterback.
And the Colts, you got to tip their hat to their defensive line, Steve. They were in his face all day, and he doesn't have the Trubisky pocket to pull it down and run. That's not his game, So I mean, I'm going to give the Indianapolis Colts some credit on this one.
The Colts lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars to open the season, Adam. The Bears were 3-0 and going to the World Series, according to you and all my other Bears fans out there.
Yeah, but if you look at the stats, Steve, Phillip Rivers wasn't much better. I mean, what Indianapolis
We're not talking about Phillip Rivers today, Adam.
They ran the ball. Jonathan Taylor ran the ball. That's what they should have done. They should have had David Montgomery run the ball. Things would have been different.
I'm just going to, since you won't listen to me, Adam, for 3 years now, you keep telling me how great Nagy is and he's going to get us to a Super Bowl. I'm going to let you read. This is from USA Today Sports. Different quarterback, same result for the Bears offense. In his first start as a Bear, Nick Foles struggles mightily to find any sort of rhythm with his receivers. His deep ball accuracy was off, and it was blatantly clear the offensive struggles do not fall on the quarterback alone, i.e. head coach. Foles completed 26 of 42 passes for 249 yards and a garbage time touchdown and a costly interception in the loss. Things can only go up from here. That is awful, Adam. And it's time to start facing facts. So, not only that, Adam, if you want to place, they go on to say, if you want to place the blame on the offensive struggles on one guy, look no further than head coach and play caller, Matt Nagy, whose inconsistent and safe play calling was downright frustrating in Sunday's loss to the Colts. He was outreached in every aspect, and he looked completely unprepared to face a top defense in the Colts. You could say this any week for Matt Nagy. He always looks unprepared. He's very conservative play calling. This has been my complaints about him. But you're going to tell me that you're going to wait another week to go against a better defense and the Bucs on Thursday night, no less? You think they have any shot on Thursday night with this horrendous play calling by your head coach that's taken you to the Super Bowl this year?
Well, you're going to have to wait and hear my thoughts on that on Thursday, Steve. I'm not ready to give you that information at this particular time or juncture.
The Bears defense, you're right, is good. They're a top 5 defense right now. The problem with the Bears isn't their defense. And who has nothing to do with the defense, Adam?
Matt Nagy doesn't have much to do with the defense.
Oh, my gosh. What does Matt Nagy have responsibilities for, Adam?
Matt is the quarterback whisperer.
Making him look like garbage. That's what he's whispering. Look like garbage for me. That's what he whispers in their ear. Matt Nagy is in charge of that offense. He play calls. Are you ready for this stat, Adam?
I'm ready, Steve.
Bears have a top 5 defense, Adam. Does Matt Nagy deal with the defense again? Remind me.
Not at this particular time.
They have a bottom 10 offense, Adam, in the first 4 weeks. Bottom 10. Hey, Adam, what does Matt Nagy deal with?
The offense, Steve.
Oh, and it's bottom 10? Oh yeah. That's it was Trubisky's fault, obviously. All I know is he was 3-0 with Trubisky. He's 0-1 with Foles. Just saying. Here's my other problem. No, you ready for my other problem?
Yeah.
Penalties. Did you notice the penalties were way out of line yesterday? I watched that game and was like, there's a lot of penalties. So I looked it up. After the game. and they had 8 penalties for 108 yards. 108 yards. Yikes. Teams that have head coaches that are on the ball do not have 8 penalties for 108 yards. And it wasn't just they had penalties on offense, they had penalties on a lot of defense, and they even had 3 on special teams. Is this team tuning out Matt Nagy, Adam, or is Matt Nagy just being exposed for the garbage head coach he is, and y'all just blame Mitch Trubisky?
Stevie's not garbage. He's 23-13 overall in his 2+4 games as a head coach.
Okay, well, he's 23-12 with Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback. So if you can't have
Chase Daniel starts in there. Come on.
You can't have it as, you're probably right, but you can't have it as the head coach is good because of his record when the quarterback that was in there has the same record.
Steve, just back off Nagy for a while. Let's see what happens next week. He gets another full week with Nick Foles' practice. Maybe he doesn't abandon the run like he did this week. He even said that they got away from the running game. They shouldn't have. And that's huge. They were keying up on the defense. The defense was keying up on the run. I think you lose a little bit of the play action with Mitch not being in there because he'll roll out and take that bootleg. But besides that, I want to see what Nick Foles can do. The defense played well. They were in the game. They could have won that game. But we'll see. But the third down conversions is definitely the biggest problem. And last time I checked, Matt Nagy's not out there in uniform. Last time I checked, he's not out there to convert on third down and go 0 for 5 on passing downs in the first half.
Matt Nagy makes the play calls.
He can make the play call, Steve, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the
what will it take? How many quarterbacks of shitty, excuse my language, quarterback play will it take for you to realize it's not the quarterbacks? Are we talking 6, 7? Because we're on 2 now, and you're still like, oh, no, it's the quarterbacks, man. It's the team.
I didn't say anything
it's not
wrong
Matt Nagy.
Nick Foles, right. It's not Matt. I'm saying let's give it a week. It was 1 week. Let's relax. Let's see what happens. We got the Tampa Bay Bucks on Thursday.
It's been 1 week. Adam, I sat here all last year while you bitched and complained about the Bears offense and how bad it was. Because Trubisky sucks this. Trubisky sucks that. You saw the same offense yesterday that you saw with Mitch Trubisky in the first 3 games and all of last year. Adam, you cannot keep telling me it's a small sample size when it's the same thing, different players.
It's a small sample size, Steve. I'm sticking with that. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going back and forth. You're not getting me down this road. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm sticking with the coach and our 3-1 Chicago Bears in second place in the NFC North.
Mikkel says, Steve, there are, quote, other Bear fans out there. You would be amazed, Mikkel, on who lights up my Twitter feed and in person and tells me how everything is Mitch Trubisky's fault. Everything is Mitch Trubisky's fault. The world, the hurricanes, Mitch Trubisky's fault. The comet attacking Earth, Mitch Trubisky's fault. The wildfires in California, Mitch Trubisky's fault. Everything. We could have had Patrick Mahomes. We could have won a Super Bowl last year with Patrick Mahomes. We were the best thing ever. If our GM didn't suck, and this didn't suck, and we didn't have Trubisky on there, Trubisky this, Trubisky that, and we sat there and watched the exact same game we have seen for the last year and a half with a different quarterback, the run defense sucked yesterday. They got trucked yesterday, all game long. And we have to sit here and listen to all the Bears fans and tell you, oh, it's Mitch Trubisky's fault. Mitch Trubisky isn't on the run defense, Adam.
I didn't say Mitch Trubisky, and Matt Nagy is not out there isn't playing linebacker, Steve. He's not out there putting pressure on the quarterback.
Thank God, because they would be even worse. Because Matt Nagy's your problem.
God. Matt Nagy is not the problem, Steve.
Okay. Right.
You're wrong. Abandoning the run, not smart. I will give you that.
Who abandoned the run yesterday?
I'm saying that it's not smart. I'm giving him a bashing on that. But
It's
he's
not
the problem.
smart.
He's still
He now always
23
abandons the run,
See?
Adam. He always
The
abandons
first-
the run. He always
No,
gives the
he-
ball in the quarterback's
three
hand.
games he
Mitch
hasn't.
Trubisky,
The first 3
those
games, he has not
interceptions,
abandoned the run, Steve.
just like Nick Foles did
149,
yesterday.
135, 130. Those were the passes. Those were the rushing yards in the first 3 games. Down to 28 freaking yards.
Mitch Trubisky threw some bad interceptions. You'd agree with me on that, right?
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky threw more bad interceptions than he threw good deep balls.
Yeah, so did Nick Foles yesterday. So
It's not Matt Nagy's.
So
This is-
Nick Foles,
Let's wait a week. I'm
you
waiting
could have
another week.
literally have put a Mitch Trubisky jersey on Foles yesterday, and you would have thought that Trubisky was out there. That's how he played, just like Mitch Trubisky has played. There was no difference except for the number and who a different guy ran out there. It was identical to everything we have seen for the last year and a half. All right, fine, Adam. Let's all waste our time watching Thursday Night Football this week, where we're going to see the exact same BS offensive play calling. So you can come back out and go, "Oh, it's not Matt Nagy. I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's the players. The players don't want to play
More
for
people
him."
are more interested in watching this Thursday night football game than last Thursday night's football game for sure. Okay, I will enjoy this as soon as I figure out how I'm watching it. But
All
besides
right.
that-
Oh Lordy. Oh, that's like so funny. All right, I'm done making fun of you now. Are you happy?
no, I'm miserable now.
Because
Good
why
fun.
would you be miserable, man? Your guy's gonna lead you to the promised land, dude. He's freaking Matt MF and Nagy, dude.
Well, I'm glad you're finally showing some respect. I appreciate that. And I'm sure Mr. Nagy does too. So at least we're on the right page as you end this segment of the Bears bashing.
I have like no rooting interest in that Bears Colts game yesterday, like zero. And at halftime, if I was a Bears fan, I probably would have offed myself by now because it's so infuriating watching this garbage on offense just continue to happen every week. The same garbage every week. If I could see it from my living room, you don't think that the Colts know it's coming? You don't think that the Tampa Bay is going to know it's coming this week? Oh my God. Anyway, Ravens beat the Washington football team on Sunday, 31-17. Surprised anything in that game, Adam?
No, I don't think there was any surprises in that game. Do you? I mean, we've seen Washington. They stick it out for the first quarter, and then Ron Rivera's, they're playing hard for him. That's really Haskin. He finally. I mean, he's got to get close. They got to be getting close to making a change there.
No, that
at the
came out this
quarterback
weekend. I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be my takeout on this game. Is rumblings are happening that Haskins could be benched here soon, and that's caused quite the uproar in the Washington area that they would even consider that. So, and the team's actually denying it now. So, but I agree, man. That team could be better with Kyle Allen as that starter right now. Doesn't mean Haskins is not going to be a good quarterback. He's struggling mightily right now, and he's their problem on offense. They have a lot of problems on offense, but he's definitely holding them back a little bit. And you might see a change coming up here just to give him some time to study it and everything. Doesn't mean they're going to give up on him, but there might be a change in the next game to try to get some juice going on that offense. But Chargers, Buccaneers, Tampa Bay come back. I guess comeback isn't the right word, even though they did. They come back and scored 10 points in the fourth quarter to take a 38-31 over the Chargers. Justin Herbert continues to look good out there. They just can't get in the victory side with him, right? 20 for 25, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He looks good out there. It's just the typical Chargers where they can get almost there and then they lose the game at the end, right?
Yeah, I mean it's good to see. I mean you don't look at the Chargers' loss and say, oh, that's that rookie quarterback Justin Herbert's fault. That's why they lost. You're not seeing that. He's keeping him in positions to win the game. The Chargers' defense, I think, is letting him down. And you're going against the GOAT at that point, too. So he was able to get his comeback with Mike Evans. And
I won't call him the GOAT, but Tom Brady had 30 for 46, 369 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, Rojo had 20 carries for 111 yards. Mike Evans had 7 catches for 122 yards. Scott Miller was 5 for 83. O.J. Howard, 3 for 50. Your boy Gronk, 1 for 29. Yeah, Tampa Bay's a well-oiled machine right now. And Tampa Bay's going to be tough this Thursday night for your Bears.
well, we'll get into that on Thursday, Steve. You know, I got some people up at Hallis Hall giving me some information. It's a short week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, great.
Nah,
We all can't wait to
I'm
watch
not-
the Bears lose in unceremonial fashion, the same way they lose all the time. But the
They're
news of that
3
game-
and freaking 1, Steve. 3 and 1.
Okay, all right.
Show some respect.
I am. I'm
God.
showing some respect. They're gonna lose some more, and it's gonna get ugly
3 and
because
1.
they're the same.
3 and
But
1.
yeah,
Steve.
I mean, just imagine if you had Justin Herbert, you probably would have won a couple more.
Yeah, and if we had Patrick Mahomes, we would have won a lot more. But no, we traded
No,
up and
you
got Mitch
wouldn't,
freaking
because
Trubisky.
your head coach is your problem. Patrick Mahomes wouldn't even be off the bench yet. They would have traded for Nick Foles and his large salary and gave up a bunch of draft picks for him.
Oh, yeah, let me go to sleep.
Seahawks beat the Dolphins to go to 4-0 this weekend. Seahawks struggled in this game mightily. I started them on defense in one of my fantasy leagues and got a whole whopping 4 points from them against the lowly Miami Dolphins. I do like the way that the Dolphins play. They play hard for Brian Flores. I really like Flores as the head coach. I just hope they don't blow him out because they just can't win with him. But that's not his fault. We're just waiting for Tua, right? I mean, Fitzpatrick, 29 for 45, 315 yards, 2 interceptions. He only had 1 rushing touchdown. He had to come out and say that he believes that Fitzpatrick will be the starting quarterback this week. Kind of undefinitive, but are we getting close to Tua time?
Yeah, I think you're getting close to that time. But the problem for the Dolphins is still their defense.
Yeah.
There's nothing there on defense for them. The Seattle's offense clicked again.
Except
you
for
really
the
can't
third quarter. That was awful.
Yeah, I mean, but Russell Wilson was still Russell Wilson, and DK Metcalf had a huge game yesterday. And you just don't. The Dolphins' biggest problem, I don't think it's Fitzpatrick. I think it's the offense or the defense, I should say.
Fitzpatrick throwing really bad interceptions yesterday, but that Seattle defense is pretty good. This is what I noticed. I was doing some research on Seattle, and they, on offense, long drives, right? So their first drive, they intercepted right off the bat. On the first drive, they intercepted Fitzpatrick. 6 plays, 57 yards. Go down and score a touchdown. Then they punted on their next drive, 4 plays. Then there were 7 plays for a field goal. 7 plays, 39 yards. They get a field goal, right? Then they turn the ball over and downs, 13 plays on that one. Then they get the ball back for a touchdown, 4 plays, 75 yards. That's the one where they had the 57-yard pass to Moore. Russell Wilson did on that one to get a big chunk of plays pretty quickly. But then 11 plays, 58 yards. That ended in an interception, but it's another 11 plays. Then 4 plays and a punt. Then 6 plays and a touchdown. 2 plays and a touchdown after a Miami interception in their end. And then 6 plays to end the fourth quarter. Just Seattle holds on to that ball on offense, and it's amazing to just see. They just wear down a defense as they go. So on there. Seattle's the team. I mean, they struggled yesterday. I mean, it wasn't the best game on the planet for Russell Wilson, but they dominated that pretty well. I'm trying to find really quick the time of possession on this game here. I think we made Adam mad. You guys, we're going to place money on if he comes back or not? Because I rag on Nagy so much. Sorry, guys. Not going to find it here, of course, in a hurry. Of course. Go to the big stat sheet. But yeah, so Seattle's offense, even though they struggled yesterday, still looked good against the. It could just be a sign of the, they were overlooking the, Miami a little bit on that. And
We now have power, so I can stay online.
Yeah. So I was just commenting on how Seattle holds the ball for a lot of plays. I went through their plays yesterday, and so they had a lot of long drives and everything. and their total time of possession for the whole game was 26:51. Miami had the ball for 33:09.
Wow.
So Seattle's got that. We can hold on to the ball for 16 plays and score on you, or we can score in 4 plays really quickly. And that's what's amazing about the Seattle Seahawks that I'm picking up on early in the season. So Vikings and the Texans, of course, Bill O'Brien's last final game was yesterday. The 0-4 Texans. Their offense was abysmal. I'm playing Deshaun Watson in my blender league, and it is god awful. I might have to bench him now for Matt Ryan, especially with the coaching change. But Vikings came out 31-23. Any thoughts on the your rival there with the Bears, the Vikings, Adam?
Yeah, the Vikings actually got a W. Little surprising to me. Did not believe in Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings, but ended up costing Bill O'Brien his job, I think, at the end of the day, which made Steve happy. The Texans tried to make a comeback in this game, but couldn't get it done.
You never happy
who had the David Johnson stat that was going to make it? Didn't someone talk about the David Johnson that was going to make all sorts of crazy numbers yesterday on Sunday?
Yeah, somebody did say. Who did do that? I don't remember now. Somebody did
Was
talk
that-
about. Might have been Taylor,
was
right?
it? Might have been, but 16 carries for 63 yards wasn't the big offensive production that was called for. But
not when across the field you have Dalvin Cook having 27 carries for 130 yards on you.
no, not at all. Right? Yeah, a couple touchdowns too for him. So I mean, I don't think Minnesota's a good football team by any stretch of the imagination. I just think the Texans are just that bad, and that's why Bill O'Brien's looking for a job now.
Well, he can enjoy the rest of the season watching his team that he famously put together and sucked. So maybe.
Do you think we could get him on as a special contributor now?
Oh, I could think of nothing I want more, Adam.
It's the Bill O'Brien minute.
We need his awesome insight into football knowledge. The kid down the road that hasn't seen an NFL football game knows more than that freaking clown. I'm still fuming about, even though it benefited the Cardinals. I'm still fuming about this Jadeveon Clowney to Seattle last year, where he played the whole salary, except for like $700,000. And then then you get even more infuriated. I'm not even a freaking Texans fan. Look how mad I get about how awful he is. And then just the whole D-Hop trade just is infuriating. Just as a football fan, it's just infuriating that this was allowed to go on. I couldn't imagine being a Texans fan because I would probably have a coronary. So, Saints beat the Lions yesterday. Matt Patricia's on the hot seat. The owner, whichever Ford lady owns the Lions right now, had to come out and give him a semi-vote of confidence after yesterday. But Matt Patricia's might be the next coach gone. Just because I don't think the Jets are going to fire Gase halfway through the year. But Patricia might on there. But 35-29 Saints. Not the best game for the Saints by any stretch. A lot of injuries on the Saints right now. But they managed to squeak out a victory even with all those injuries yesterday. Drew Brees, once a quarterback who's having diminished skills learns to play with those diminished skills, they're still a good quarterback, right? Drew Brees isn't going to become a bad quarterback, but he has to learn to play without that arm strength, and he's doing it. He's coming around. So,
yeah, he's definitely coming around. I mean, a guy like Brees, he sees the game better than most quarterbacks still do. He may not have the same arm strength that he once had, but he'll adjust and make the right plays, and I think we're starting to see that more and more as the weeks go by here.
Yeah, and the guys like Drew Brees can adjust better than guys like Phillip Rivers, because Phillip Rivers was always a gunslinger, right? He would put the ball into tight windows because he could, right? And now that he doesn't have that arm strength, he still thinks he can put those balls into windows that he can't, because that's just the way he's played. Whereas Drew Brees actually can adjust his game a little bit more, and that's why it's kind of neat to watch. Joe Burrow gets his first victory. Bengals over the Jags yesterday. Go Joe Burrow. He said after the game, losing sucks. I don't want to do that.
You gotta like that out of your quarterback, right? I mean,
Yeah.
what quarterback do you want to hear say, "Oh, we lost. It's okay." I don't want
Gardner
to hear that.
Minshew didn't have a bad game. 27 for 40, 351 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got James Robinson, obviously 75 yards on the ground, but he's even got receivers you've never heard of, right? DJ Clark had 95 yards. Levinsky Chenault at 86 yards. They're just doing stuff. They're just not able to, get over and get the wins there in Jacksonville. They're not as bad as we thought they'd be. We're putting it that way. But yeah, Joe Burrow finally breaks through on the win side. Quite frankly, I think he should have 1 or 2 more victories on there. But as a rookie, you take it right as you go. And then Giants and Rams. This was an awful game. The highlight of this game was the fight afterwards between Jalen Ramsey and Golden Tate. Was the fight after the game. 17-9, Rams beat the Giants. That Giants team is awful. Them and the Jets are going to be fighting for this number 1 pick.
How would you like to be in the media in New York right now?
I
talking
follow
football?
a couple guys there, and they pretty much.
Jesus.
I have to. If I don't see a tweet from them one of these mornings, I'm calling the police and having a welfare check done on them because they just sound so down. Like they're just trying to find positives, Like I saw one article where it was like, the Giants defense is good enough that it doesn't deserve how bad the offense is playing, and I'm like, the defense is just as bad. What are you talking about? How did Dave Gettleman still have a job at all? Like, that's a GM that needs to be now. You got rid of Bill O'Brien, the GM, today. Let's get rid of Dave Gettleman, the GM of New York. It's bad. So, Bills Raiders, actually a pretty competitive game. David Carr's time in Las Vegas might be coming to an end. You could see Gruden losing patience with Carr yesterday as that game went on. Now it all depends on who's their backup that was injured. I just forgot his name. Used to be in Titans, played at Oregon.
No.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
I'm looking it up right
depends
now.
on
Yeah.
what.
Looking it up.
No. It depends on that, but you can literally see John Gruden's patience with David Carr just slowly, not even slowly anymore. It's just going quickly away from him. He had 311 yards and 2 touchdowns. They, nailed Josh Allen of the Bills to where he landed awkwardly on his arm and his shoulder. I haven't got any updates on him at all, so I'm assuming he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Watching this game, I actually watched a lot of it this morning, of this one. And, I mean, what I saw was that Derek Carr was rushed. That the Bills' defense was just all over him throughout this whole game. And, that's going to be a problem for Derek Carr. Buffalo's defense is really good.
I think that's where the frustration with Gruden's coming from is David Carr is not a runner, and he doesn't make his own stuff. And there's no talent on the Raiders' line. You have Waller's the tight end, and their receivers aren't that great. So I think there's a lot there. Colts 19, Bears 11. We already discussed that. I am impressed that the Bears did score 11 points because you don't see that too often.
It was a garbage time.
But it's 11. It doesn't matter. They scored 11. That's great. Eagles, of course, last night, 25-20 over the 49ers. Eagles win their first game. And Adam gets sole possession of first place in the NFC East at 1-2-1.
Go Eagles.
So on my gridiron picks on the 1580 site, I apparently, like I said, you guys knew I was traveling last week and everything. Apparently my picks didn't save, but that's one of the ones that did save. So I did pick the Eagles in that one. So
nice.
And Mullins, the starting quarterback for San Francisco, in the place of Jimmy Garoppolo, who last week people were saying that he might win this job over Garoppolo. He got rage benched in the third quarter of that game where Kyle Shanahan literally had a coronary and then pulled him off the bench because he was playing so bad. So it was great to watch.
Your Raiders' backup quarterback is Nathan Peterman, by the way.
No, but there's an injured guy on there that I'm.
Oh, Mariota.
Yeah, there we go.
Mariota's
yeah, he's injured. He's still injured. That's what I didn't know.
Yeah. Yep, he's still injured.
If
He's on
he-
IR still.
If he wasn't injured, then I wouldn't be shocked if he was getting some playing time coming up. I don't think he'll go to Peterman unless he absolutely has to, but you never know. So
Peterman.
obviously, other games this weekend. Touch on here. We got 2 left. I left these 2 for a reason. If you woke up this morning and you were so tired of a coach that'd been your head coach for 8 to 10 years, I forget now, and you constantly went, 7, 8, 9 wins every year, nothing good, nothing worse, and you were so happy to get rid of him, to bring in another coach, a winning coach from another organization, and you woke up this morning and were 1-3 and you lost. Not only did you lose to the Browns, who are now 3-1, but you gave up 49 points to the Browns. You are not a very happy Cowboys fan today. 49-38, Browns beat the Cowboys.
Well, yeah, wow, right? Someone's got to get fired, right? I mean, Mike Nolan, is he on the hot seat there?
I see it.
Is
I looked it up earlier because yesterday I saw a tweet that said Mike Nolan and the defensive guys had been fired. But I don't know where it was from. I saw it in passing, so I just looked at it and went, oh, I'm not surprised, and I moved on, right? And then today, nobody's talking about it. So obviously it was just somebody, venting or something on it. But no, Cowboys came out today and said, Stephen Jones came out and said, Cowboys have no plans of making drastic coaching changes after a 1-3 start. But you gave up 49 points. OBJ had a big day, but he was catching touchdown passes from other receivers. Did you see that play?
Yes, I did see that play. That was that was a good that was entertaining.
Well,
for sure.
now here's the thing: Nick Chubb had such a great day as the Browns running back. I don't know what he had. I thought, but basically the Cowboys gave up 307 rushing yards yesterday, and Nick Chubb he ran so hard yesterday and got so many yardage that he had to go on IR today because his knees messed up. That's how many yards he got yesterday. The Cowboys defense literally gave him so many yards that he injured himself to where he needed to go on IR today. My favorite.
So you're not.
My favorite line from the some place in Dallas that covers the Cowboys. This is the final line of the article I read today. Are you ready? Quote:
ready.
Defenses around the NFL have been mostly bad to start the 2020 season, but Dallas takes the cake. I love it. I love it.
So is Cleveland better or is Dallas that bad?
Dallas is
That's
that bad.
the question. Dallas is that bad?
Yeah. Now,
Write it down.
I said Cleveland was going to be pretty good. I think I had them at 8 wins this year. I just didn't think they'd get over that hurdle because Baker. And, I mean, Baker's a problem. I thought their defense would be pretty good, but they're in a tough division, right? They got the Ravens. They got the Steelers. So they're in a really tough division to begin with. But we didn't think the Cowboys but it's taken a little bit of shining off this Monday Night Football Cardinals-Cowboys game here in 2 weeks. That's for sure.
Should be interesting.
So the other game, of course, we've avoided. Panthers 31, Cardinals 21. Both teams are 2-2 now. Everything I said in the Cardinals rewind, the opposite happened. Cardinals looked atrocious on offense. Cardinals looked atrocious on defense. We can blame injuries if we want to because there's a lot of injuries on that Cardinals defensive side, but they were just exposed yesterday. They couldn't tackle. It was disgusting to watch. Kyler Murray's had a second bad game in a row. I expected a bounce back, and we didn't get one. I'm a little worried for this Jets game this week, but I'll have more about that Thursday and Friday when I get posted up on the Cardinals Rewind this week. Anything about this game, Adam?
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater remembered how to run with the ball.
It was his first time he's run like that since the injury. Yeah, and he did against the Cardinals. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking about jumping off this bandwagon that I've been on the last couple of weeks. Maybe I was just a week early of jumping off. Maybe I should have jumped off, took the loss that first week, and stayed off. I don't know.
What bandwagon? The Teddy Bridgewater bandwagon?
Well, No, the Cardinals bandwagon.
Oh.
Remember, I changed my pick back to the Cardinals 3 weeks ago, and then it's been kind of downhill since that. After that one, but what's going to happen? Kyle Murray, bounce back now finally. I mean,
Well,
you're
they got
playing
the
the
Jets
Jets
this week, so
You got the Jets. I mean, that should be pretty good. That should be a pretty good meal for them, right?
The problem is that the Panthers have literally zero offensive threats with Christian McCaffrey out and their injuries. And Davis, the running back, had a career day. And then I don't even remember the receiver's name off the top of my head. Anderson? Or am I thinking of the Bears guy there? I'll tell you in a second here. Robbie Anderson, 8 for 99 yards. Curtis Samuel, 3 for 51. DJ Moore, 4 for 49. I mean, all their starting safeties were out. They were just filling gaps. It was just an ugly all-around game. This is actually one you could probably attribute to injuries if you wanted to do the blame game. I don't like to do that, but this is one where you can almost forgive it if, this is a big if, they start bouncing back and start playing like they did the first 2 weeks again. But even then, the play calling has been awful. I mean, you want to talk about Matt Nagy's play calling. Cardinals, I don't get it. I just don't get it. It makes me shake my head. So, out there.
So if for somehow Adam Gase beats the Arizona Cardinals, how will you be feeling? Okay, I just wanted to know how you were feeling.
Yeah, Monday won't be a good show.
Okay, I just wanted to see how you would feel.
I can handle them losing to the Panthers. It's disappointing, but they had to go cross country, 10 a.m. start date, lots and lots of injuries, right? I mean, they're beaten up, especially in their secondary right now. Kennard was out. They got zero pass rush on Teddy Bridgewater. Sam Darnold is not a Teddy Bridgewater. Let's just be honest about it. I would take Bridgewater today over Sam Darnold today, right? And he's more of a pocket guy. He got sacked. Sam Darnold got sacked yesterday by nobody. He literally turned around and acted like he got hit, but nobody touched him, and he went down on his own. It was the funniest thing ever if you didn't see it. And like this is bad how they lost yesterday, but like I said, you can come up with the reasons why. But if they lose to the Jets, there's no inexcusable reason to lose to the Jets at all. But,
all right, I hope so, Steve. I don't want to see you cry. Crying over your sports team it's hard.
Yeah, I don't do that, but I might be mad. So, yeah. No, I don't get affected like that at all. It'll be depressing. There's no doubt about it. But Adam, it's not going to happen, so I'm not going to talk about it.
All right. I like it. Positivity, Mr. Positivity, out there.
Somebody's got to be positive around here, Adam.
That's right.
So,
It's not going to be me.
Right? So, really quick, college football. It's kind of kicking off. We haven't really covered it this year just because I, for one, haven't really been into it that much. But Big 12, man. Oklahoma lost again this weekend. Oklahoma State is in the driver's seat in the Big 12. We still have 3 weeks before the Big 10 starts, 4 weeks until Pac-12 starts, which we'll get into it, obviously, when that happens there. And but, man, the Big 12 is god-awful this year. Just god-awful out there. Everybody was talking about how, who are we going to put into the playoffs with all these good teams out there? Well, nobody from the Big 12 because they're awful. So, Clemson,
the Big 12 definitely has its problems.
LSU bounced back from their loss last week. Texas lost to TCU this weekend. Did you see that end of that play? 1 yard line, dude fumbles it. TCU gets it back and then runs the clock out. It was god awful. There should never be a day where TCU beats a Texas. Like, you should be fired as a Texas head coach if you lose to TCU for any reason. Any reason at all, and they've done it. I don't know how Tom Herman has a job there. He is just an awful head coach. He can't recruit. He's got awful. But anyway, the story out of college football so far this year, though, is BYU, the independent, who wasn't sure they'd be able to play at all because they had nobody to play because all the leagues had canceled and no out of conference games, etc. BYU might sneak into this tournament. Georgia Alabama was the big game this weekend. Georgia Auburn was a big game this weekend. Georgia destroyed Auburn, 27-6. It was actually I enjoyed that game very much. So SEC's in full, whatever mode. Tennessee, of course, we all know Jason Carter / Chief. Big Tennessee fan. Usually by this time of the season, he's ready to hang himself because Tennessee loses to a really bad team. Thank goodness they didn't have out-of-conference games this year, so Tennessee couldn't lose to one of them. But they're on a winning streak right now. They're number 21 in the country. Obviously, Big Ten will get slid into there when they start, but little college football news that we haven't touched on yet. We're monitoring. We'll bring up on future shows. Adam, anything else you want to add? What is the update on the baseball score?
MLB score as I minimize the window. Hold on 1 second.
Well, that ain't going to tell you what did it if you do that.
Yeah, I minimized it for a second.
It's
but
6-5 Houston.
6-5 Astros.
In the 6th.
Yes.
Matt Olson's go-ahead home run made it 5 combined home runs for the Astros and A's in Game 1. Nice. Dusty Baker called Murphy's home run from the dugout.
Yes, that's awesome.
Did you see that?
I was just looking at that. Yeah, just looking at that. How awesome is that?
So Bregman and Correa spark offense with home runs for the Astros. So I expect this series to be actually a high-scoring series, and 6-5 in the 6th. They really exploded. So I'm going to start watching that here and everything. So let me see here. Let's play the home run by Murphy here really quick here before we end the show.
Field bleeders, but hopefully we can get somebody on base.
Dusty, I know how weird this is going to be for you, as this one is driven to center field. Back goes Springer, and that ball is going to be gone.
That ball's flying out of here.
You can tell he has his mask on. He's like, that ball's flying out of here. All masked up and everything. That's hilarious. But yeah, he's all, oh, Lordy, as they're interviewing him. So it's pretty funny.
Oh, Lordy.
So 6-5 there. Keep a look. I'll, of course, get the posting out of our picks on Twitter here. Actually, just a few after we finish this up. Adam, where can everybody reach you at?
Reach me at Adam Michaels05 on Twitter.
And, of course, I'm at SMAC500. At The Main Event Pod is where you follow us for the show stuff, news and notes on sports. And, of course, Wednesday night I am on 1580 The Fanatic from 6 to 8 p.m. On there, I am, as of now, it could change, everybody, I am filling in on the Blender, actually, from 4 to 6 p.m. This week. So I will be on the air 4 hours on Wednesday.
That's a 4-hour marathon.
Yep. Woo. So, exactly right. So I'll be down there. As of now, I'm on there from 4 to 6. And then, of course, the main event from 6 to 8. And then Thursday, we'll be back here and discussing and previewing next week and whatever happens in the baseball as we go this week. So, Adam, any parting words?
Nope, I got nothing this week. No positivity, no nothing. Just recovery still. Recovering. Gonna watch this great baseball game, though, I think, right now.
Bill O'Brien got fired today,
Is
Adam.
still fired.
The peasants rejoice.
Okay. Well, I'll try and take some joy in Bill O'Brien being fired.
Well, that's kind of a rude thing to do. Really quick, hold on. Dabo Sweeney is trending. Oh, you know why. Patriots OC Josh McDaniels was actually going to bring Jack Easterby, who's the football vice president of football in Houston, with him to Indianapolis in 2017 before the Colts deal came undone. So basically what he's saying, Albert Breer is saying, is Josh McDaniel and Easterby have a relationship in Houston, so Josh McDaniels could be the next head coach. But he's also very friendly with Clemson head coach Dabo Sweeney. So obviously everybody is putting Dabo Sweeney in that Houston Texans job right now.
Yeah, we're a long time away from having a Houston head coach, though.
Right? Yeah, it's going to be a while on this one because nobody's going to take it. But yeah.
Nope.
All right, senor. I will see you later. Thank you.